So the Neighbor Love movement begins with a simple question: how do you see others? And we believe that the way we see others produces the society we see. If we see people as cheap, we tolerate indifference and poverty. If we see people as worthless, we perpetuate conflict and violence. But if we see people as precious, then we will and work for their well-being. And that's how we define neighbor love. Neighbor love is passionate will and practical work for other people's well-being. And so the Neighbor Love movement is designed to promote a vision of seeing every person as a precious neighbor, someone who has value and is near to us. So what we're trying to do in Ethiopia and around the world is inspire people to commit to a covenant that invites them to commit to seeing and treating each person as a precious neighbor. And then we have designed this covenant to be embodied in 7 practices rooted in our physical bodies. They don't require money or technology or anything special, starting with our body. So we have 7 practices. The first begins with the eyes. And this is a challenge to see your neighbor as a neighbor, someone who is near to you, who has value, to open your eyes, especially to people that you might overlook. And to resist closing your eyes or looking away from others. The second practice is your ears. Open your ears to listen to people patiently, especially when you have disagreement. Resist closing your ears and only hearing your own echo. The third practice is your voice. Speak to people with truth and kindness, again, even when you disagree. And practice apology and forgiveness when you make mistakes. Resist using your voice to stereotype, generalize, curse, or condemn other people. The fourth practice is our hands. Use your power to help other people instead of harming them. Resist using power as a force of oppression and domination over others. The fifth practice is your heart. Open your heart to the joy and pain of other people. Make your heart a home for the other instead of closing it off with jealousy, resentment, revenge. The sixth practice is your feet. Get outside of your comfort zone and move to people who are different than you, including your enemies. When we build relationship, it changes our lives, and we're challenging people who commit to our covenant to move outside of their circles and to be near to other people who may speak different languages or have different views or being from other cultures and contexts. And the seventh practice is your brain. Integrate your lifestyle, your work, and values. Resist to divorce what you believe from how you work and how you live. So the Neighbor Love movement is a call to commit to a simple covenant, and then it's an invitation to live this covenant with your body in your personal and professional life with these 7 practices: how you see, how you hear, how you speak, how you use your power, how you open your heart, how you move your feet, and how you use your mind in your daily life. And we believe that this covenant and these practices will help us answer that question: how do we see others? And how is that vision producing the society we see? And our dream is for the Neighbor Love movement to cultivate and energize love, justice, and flourishing for all neighbors, and to resist patterns of indifference, polarization, and conflict in society today. And we see this story as ancient and expanding every day. So it starts in the Hebrew scriptures with Moses' command to love your neighbor as yourself. In Leviticus 19, Moses defines the neighbor as anybody who may have a disability, someone who may need special care and has special vulnerability, including a foreigner. And then we say that Jesus radicalizes the Neighbor Love movement. He says, you've heard it said, love your neighbor, but I say to you, love your enemy. And so Jesus is asking us to take our love for the other to a more radical direction of crossing these boundaries of animosity, resentment, conflict, and seeing that person that you're most tempted to hate as a precious neighbor. And then we say that the Neighbor Love movement expands with Muhammad. In the Quran, Muhammad says, be good to neighbors near and far. In the Hadiths, Muhammad talks about how he refuses to treat other people as enemies and insists on seeing them as neighbors. And then we say that democracy institutionalizes the Neighbor Love movement under law. Every person and every voice has equal value and should be given equal access to justice and freedom under the law. And so we're trying to be the next step of the neighbor love movement, saying we have shared values and shared practices that can unify us around seeing the precious value of human life. We start from there, and then we wade into the deeper, more complex issues of how we practice this today.